Bougainville Affairs Minister congratulates new ABG President. Electricity flows through rural district after 45 years. And police dogs and handlers sharpen their skills.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Seah.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for Friday's news. The PNG government remains fully committed to the people of Bougainville. The statement was made today by Minister for Bougainville Affairs Sir Puka Temu when congratulating Ismail Torama as president. Sir Puka says that since the post-referendum vote in November 2019, more consultation will occur with the people of Bougainville going forward.
When congratulating the President-elect Ismail Torama, Sir Puka expressing excitement and praise, saying the process in place for the autonomous region of Bougainville now saw a path clearer than ever before.
As Minister for Bougainville Affairs, I congratulate him, his own party which he formed to go through the election to contest as the president, and we also thank his wife and the children who stood by him.
The minister responsible for Bougainville Affairs saying that the road to moving on from the peace agreement and post-referendum had been arduous and couldn't have been worked on without the vision and understanding of the successive Bougainville administrations since their first ABG was elected in 2005. Sir Puka reiterating the commitment by the PNG government to Bougainville's future, making reference to statements that Prime Minister James Marape had made this year on the autonomous region, saying Bougainville was an important agenda that needed further consultation.
I believe this is another very, very important phase for our country in relation to now having a comprehensive national conversation through the consultations that are prescribed in the Constitution on the post-referendum process, another very, very important historic phase. And so as Minister for Bougainville Affairs, I sincerely congratulate and welcome the incoming president and his new House of Representative members, 40 of them altogether.
The election of Ismail Torama as fourth president of a region that has had a tumultuous past is seen as a positive sign of maturity, according to the minister. He says that currently the new government of the people of Bougainville would still function as previously, and this would be expected to continue during Torama's next 5 years in office, along with the members of the House of Representatives.
Until the consultation teams agree, and the way I know the consultation go is before the 5th ABG election. They could agree that it will not be under the autonomous government. It will be under a new arrangement. Could be independence, could be greater autonomy, or could be whatever they agree to. But for currently, next 5 years, under President Ismail Torama, and by under autonomous arrangement.
What is interesting from this, a large delegation from the PNG government will be on hand to attend the inauguration of the leaders of the autonomous region of Bougainville, with Minister Puka saying Prime Minister James Marape will be leading a large contingent of PNG government ministers as they seek to ensure that Bougainville is able to focus on its human resource development, ensure more infrastructure development, and build up its economic sustainability through both its natural resources and small to medium entrepreneurship. That delegation is expected to be in Arob on Tuesday the 29th of September, with Sir Puka and his team from the National Coordination Office for Bougainville Affairs to travel the day before, with Sir Puka saying that a visit by members of the Marape Davis government will reiterate the support they have to the consultation process already in place.
And Prime Minister has demonstrated that in day one, when we took over government from the O'Neill government, that he made sure that the Bougainville Peace Agreement and the last arm of the Bougainville Peace Agreement, the referendum, was funded and successfully conducted. And when he is now saying to the new president that he will work with him closely together to support him, that's a commitment from the national government by our Prime Minister.
Further consultations are to be held as the autonomous region of Bougainville and the PNG government look set to plan a brighter future for both. Jeremy Mogi, National TV News.
The Supreme Court today dismissed an application by Barrick New Guinea Limited to stay the National Court decision that had dismissed Barrick's initial proceedings. The National Court on September 1st, 2020 dismissed a proceeding filed by Barrick New Guinea Limited challenging the state's decision to refuse Barrick's special mining lease for Porgera gold mine. Barrick then appealed the decision in the Supreme Court. Barrick also sought a stay order with the intention to stay the National Court decision pending the outcome of the appeal before the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, however, ruled that the status quo remains and the stay order application dismissed. Justice Colin McKyle, presiding over the matter, noted that while Barrick has put forward some grave concerns regarding operations and security of the mine, the state has countered it with measures already put in place where, to date, no major problem has occurred. Solicitor General Tauvasa Tanuvasa further explained that this means that the decision of the Deputy Chief Justice Ambeng Kandakasi in dismissing the National Court proceedings remain in force. He adds that Kumul Mineral Holdings Limited, the new Porgera SML holder, can proceed unhindered by a court order. The Prime Minister's office yesterday announced the outcome for negotiations of the country's first offshore oil and gas field. In a statement, Prime Minister James Marape said an agreement has been reached with developer Twinza Oil Limited to move forward with developments for the Pasca offshore petroleum project in the Gulf of Papua. Twinza says while it acknowledges the support of the state, the outcome of the agreement is still non-binding. Prime Minister James Marape yesterday announced the outcome of negotiations between the state negotiating team and Twinza Oil Limited over the Pasca offshore petroleum project. The Prime Minister stated that the negotiations between the state negotiating team and developer Twinza Oil Limited had reached an agreement to push forward with development stages. Twinza, however, in a statement released on their website this morning pertaining to the statement from the Prime Minister's office, said the agreement reached with the state negotiating team were non-binding but met the state's objectives, and both parties are working in collaboration on drafting a binding agreement. While the PM has stated promising results through the outcome of the Pasca A petroleum project, Twinza, on the other hand, says it is not in a position to confirm with any degree of certainty that the drafting process will deliver a satisfactory agreement. Twinza further stating that the proposed draft agreement with the SNT is not yet in a form that would allow the project to progress for several reasons, one of which includes providing a state take that is substantially higher than the agreed 61 to 65% purported in the PM statement. Earlier this month, during the signing of a similar non-binding agreement with the Gulf provincial government, also pertaining to the Pasca A gas development project, which would allow for the Gulf provincial government to utilize LPGs to develop a power project to supply electricity for the province.
Potential business relationships they will enter into down the track where Twinza, as the producer of the oil and gas, will make available some of their gas to the Gulf provincial government-owned commercial entity, and that entity will use it to generate electricity for the people of Gulf and any businesses and industries that set up there. And that fits into the national content, part of what I will be doing as minister when it comes to negotiating with Mr. Munro on the gas agreement that's in progress at the moment.
Twinza CEO Ian Munro said only once the Pasca A gas agreements and the petroleum development licenses are in place, the project would be well positioned to enter front-end engineering and design, or FEED.
I'm confident we'll get an agreement that works for both parties. You know, we're We're cognizant that the agreement, has to deliver a higher state take overall than previous projects, and we're supportive of that. And a balanced agreement would allow us as a developer to move into FEED on the project in the near term. So a fair agreement is what we're seeking to get. There are a number of fields that have been discovered for many years and lain undeveloped. We think with the Pasca field moving forward initially, we believe that we'll be able to provide attractive terms and work collaboratively with other resource owners to bring those fields through our project. The company would hope to see production being delivered to the Gulf and elsewhere, international markets in 2024.
In spite of the agreements being non-binding at this stage, as the developer Twinza says it looks forward to securing a binding agreement with the state, one that is acceptable to both parties and supports the development of Papua New Guinea's first offshore oil and gas field, what Prime Minister Marape describes as a significant outcome for Papua New Guinea. For the first time in 45 years, the people of Kami in the Anglim South Wagi electorate in Jiwaka province will have electricity. Local MP Joe Cooley ensured this much needed service reached the people during his term in office. Commerce and Industry Minister William Duma and Cooley officially switched on the power yesterday.
It was a timely independence gift for the Kami people of Anglim district. As PNG turned 45 years, the Kami people for the first time also received electricity to improve their living standards.
Obviously, Kami to Kuba Power, rural power project today, day 24th, obviously, Obim Disla Power, launching Disla Power. Thank you.
The electricity is under the Anglim South Wagi District Development Rural Electrification Project. It is a total of 30.5 kilometers of power project in the electorate and a total funding of 5.4 million kina. There are 14 project sites or rural communities that were selected to receive power. Yesterday was the opening and the switching on of power for the Kami to Kupa areas and Kindang to Tari market.
All the power. Some house you ready looks in power long and now I'm switching on all the house for you. And then now I'm going down. Buy even double now I'm going now I'm blocking. Can then you go along Tari market? Can then road book you go on double long Rogam to man.
Meanwhile, Commerce and Industry Minister William Duma, who officiated the ceremony, pledged to support this new province in agriculture and small and medium enterprises. Anglim South Wagi electorate has already taken the lead in registering 330 cooperative groups, which has greater chances of getting funding from the national government.
Commerce and Industry on submission land Western Islands. Now, Jiwaka took a pass now. 200 million name him millionaire. Enough plenty money. Country aim 10 million money back up for buy now. It's a good start. Government play Marabe,
Jiwaka provincial government has supported the rural electrification project with a funding of 1.5 million kina to complete connecting power to the rest of the electorate. Other projects in roads and infrastructure, health, education, religion, agriculture and law and justice sectors are also being supported by the district authority to fulfill the local MP's policies. Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
The Open member for Samarai Mura has demanded in writing for a statement from Treasury regarding the Misima Future Generation Trust account. This follows claims of conspiracy between known individuals who have accessed some funding from the trust account. MP EC Henry Leonard says his office was also not consulted and added that the withdrawal of funds is a direct breach of a court order and Public Finance Management Act.
Speaking in Port Moresby, the serving member says he has written to the Finance and Treasury Department for a statement regarding the withdrawal of 8 million kina from the Misima Future Generation Trust account. He is unsure and wants to know who pushed for the withdrawal of funds and to which landowner group or beneficiaries. MP Leonard claims known individuals have conspired with banks and relevant government departments.
How did they manage to draw those funds out from Treasury? who authorized the payout, because I was never engaged. I was never informed, and I never signed an instrument to allow for the payout of the 8 million kina.
According to MP Leonard, earlier this week a team from Finance and Treasury visited the landowners and paid portions to a new trust account. This is for the 64 recipients from the initial mine agreement and benefits. However, a court order is in place and restrains banks from allowing any transaction. He is concerned as to why laws are not followed and believes a breach in the process.
I need them to provide me statements, bank statements, as to how much money was drawn down. I need to find out actually who authorized the payout, who signed for the drawdown of the funds, who signed for it. I need to know that. And I need to do further investigation into this fund.
A similar payment was done in 2012, which MRDC paid it to rightful landowners and trustees. The money was to finance locals and establish forms of investment for future generations. The current open member says from the payment there is nothing visible in regard to that same benefit.
Up till now, there is nothing to show for on the ground. There is nothing. And these are the same people who are now being appointed to be trustees of a new trust. And this is the last money, that 8 million kina. It is the monies of the 64 recipients.
MP Leonard says upon receiving replies from Treasury and Finance, further investigation will be done in consultation with police. Jack Lapava Jr., National EMTV News.
Health support workers are demanding recognition from the state and relevant agencies. With that, a justification letter outlining their concerns have been submitted to the Department of Personnel Management for review and approval. Representatives say it is time authorities recognize health support workers around the country.
While praise and fame is given to the frontline workers like nurses, doctors and specialists, those providing the support behind them are not heard or known. For health support workers in the country, their efforts have not been compensated well enough according to those who represent them. They say support staff must be recognized.
The health sector, support workers, benefits and awards have not been fair. Other departments have so many benefits, and their salary classes are a bit higher than the support workers. But with this agreement that will be fostered with the Department of Personnel Management, all your efforts will be paid. They will be recognized because you will be duly awarded.
An AGM was held earlier this month between agencies and those in the health sector. For support staff workers, a justification letter containing the demands was presented to DPM. Representatives are looking forward for a positive response.
Met with the DPM on 22nd, and DPM has asked us to do the justification per that letter of 3rd of March this year from the Minister for Public Service and Department of Personnel Management, which we have submitted the justification, which Department of Personnel Management has accepted that, and we are grateful that there is a light ahead of us.
The justification letter contains benefits like risk taken during employment and salary issues, among others. DPM will now review and make a decision to capture this part of the health mechanism, which has missed out over the past years despite providing essential health services.
About ethical partnership, that's very important between all players in clinicians and support staffs providing health services in the country, not just about the government health employees. So that's why health, you can't say, I am the frontliner. Everybody, a clinician, support staff, we all play a vital role in the health services delivery in the country.
Jack Lapava Jr., National EMTV News.
The National Sustainable Land Use Policy is aimed at identifying areas in the country suitable for towns and cities, conservation and rural areas. This week, the Department of Lands and Physical Planning hosted a regional consultation workshop in Leh to gather input and gauge views on the draft policy. According to Chief Physical Planner Linus Billy, this policy will help in guiding landowners to identify which developments are suitable for their land.
The three-day workshop in Leh was aimed at strengthening the national sustainable land use policies, structure, action plans, implementation, and monitoring and evaluation processes. According to Chief Physical Planner Linus Billy, it is a policy that will guide development.
And this policy will look at how we use land in terms of the different land uses, because we have forestry, SEPA, that looks at conservation, and of course agricultural land use.
The Department of Lands and Physical Planning was instructed by the National Executive Council in 2000 to develop the land use policy. After researching land use planning, the policy was formulated to provide a framework for sustainable land use. This covers three main areas: development promotional areas, conservation, and sustainable rural areas.
So we put in better policy to ensure that this area is for only agricultural purpose, or we identify this area is only for town development because this is where the people living, or if this is area for sustainable rural areas, these are the areas where our villages are, so we try to ensure that there is some buffer in terms of protecting the villages.
Similar consultative meetings will also be conducted in the New Guinea Islands and southern regions, and the outcomes will be submitted to the NEC. Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News, Leh.
Dogs are men's best friends, but when it comes to police duties, the relationship between a police dog and its handler is considered crucial for a successful operation. For the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary, the Dog Unit Directorate is responsible for the training and well-being of all police dogs in the country. This morning, dog handlers in the NCD Dog Unit conducted specific trainings to sharpen the skills of at least 19 police dogs.
Though categorized as a general-purpose dog or a specially trained sniffer dog, it is the relationship between a police dog and its handler that leads to any successful tasking. Whether it's crowd control, searches for drugs and explosives, or chasing down the bad guys, a police dog must trust its handler and be able to understand its commands. NCD Dog Unit Director, Inspector Jack Horry, says such trainings forms a union between a dog and its handler in order to work as partners in the police force.
Basically, when out on duty, obedience is to you give command to the dogs and the dog will follow exactly what the handler wants from the dog. That is basically about obedience. So the dog reads the handler, the handler reads the dog.
The NCD Dog Unit Directorate is the only unit in the country that have police dogs working alongside police officers. In the recent cocaine drug bust, few of these police dogs assisted the joint PNG Australian police operation to identify the presence of cocaine. Most of these police dogs have been donated to the unit through existing partnerships with the Australian and New Zealand police forces.
And there's obstacles when pursuing criminals or something like that. They can go through fire, they can jump through fire, building, sets, they go to obstacles. That's what we condition the dogs about for agility.
First Constable Elvis Ningiwahi from Kubalia in the East Sepik province is amongst the dog handlers who participated in today's training. Ningiwahi has served for over 8 years in the NCD Dog Unit Directorate and has partnered with Jepsi Muno for 3 years. Of the 8 years, he served as a dog handler. The others include Senior Constable Brown Moe, who has been working with his partner, Wilbur, since 2017, and Constable Vitus Karagu and partner Zeus, who also share a special bond. Tekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
And now looking at the NASFund market report, the kina closed 5 points lower at $0.2940 in the interbank market this morning. At Bank South Pacific, your kina is buying $0.2785 $0.3909 Australian dollars, $0.2305 euro and 28.7 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading lower, coffee and cocoa closed higher, and copper closed lower. Crude oil is trading higher, palm oil and copper closed lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 52.31 points higher. The ASX 200 is trading at 21.85 points higher, and the All Ordinaries is trading at 21.16 points higher. National government will roll out a total of 1 billion kina over 5 years through special credit facilities to assist micro, small to medium enterprises or MSMEs in the country. The first 200 million kina for this year is set to be rolled out through Bank South Pacific and National Development Bank. A memorandum of agreement was signed yesterday at APEC House between the Department of Commerce and Industry and the National Development Bank for this purpose.
The main objective of this credit facility is to enable existing and aspiring PNG citizens, MSMEs and cooperatives that have insufficient capital to be able to pursue their business interests under very concessional loan interest rates.
I would like to thank the Honourable Minister for supporting the Department of Commerce and Industry and NDB at the NEC level in securing the approval of this micro, small and medium enterprise credit facility to assist the growth of MSMEs, micro, small and medium enterprises in the country by lending to them at very concessional rates, interest rate of 4% under this new program.
The government's intention is to empower and grow Papua New Guineans' participation in MSMEs in downstream processing and diversification of business activities across all sectors of the economy. Department of Commerce and Industry Secretary Joseph Woodley explained this government strategy, saying all funds under this credit arrangement will be solely utilized in accordance with the terms and conditions set out in the Memorandum of Agreement, or in the absence of such facility, be remitted back to the Department of Commerce and Industry.
In those provinces, the various sectors, please, we have to make this happen for our SME. Our SME needs this, and this is the program that will make Papua New Guinea the richest black nation.
The National Development Bank is the development financed institution of PNG, wholly owned by IPBC as trustee for the state and people of PNG. Its primary function is to provide accessible development credit to the citizens of PNG to engage in income generation with the aim of improving the quality of lives for Papua New Guineans.
This is the turning point. We have to start to change and manage SME in a different way. The way we have come, we have not progressed anyway. Now that the government has made it the number one policy and funded us as it says, now it has owned up on each and every one of us in the SME sector to take it up and drive it. Let's think outside of the box, let's drive it. We have to start to do different things. You can't do the same things and expect a different result, no.
According to the National Development Bank authorities, the specific lending requirements for both existing and aspiring SMEs will be made known clearly in a media statement very soon. Dennis Orere, National EMTV News.
Tukai Sports.
Welcome to Tukai Sports. Tomorrow, Saturday, the 26th of September, will mark the final round of matches in the regular season of the Kumul Petroleum National Soccer League. Lay City's 3-1 win last week over FC Morabe Wawens sees them claim the minor premiership title with Hekari in second spot. No real changes are expected even after the completion of the final round of matches in the Kumul Petroleum National Soccer League. Competition leaders Ley City have retained this year's title, albeit unofficially, after continuous wins in the last few weeks.
Oscar takes on Tawini. He's able to head that one home!
For Hekari United, it was a struggle, living till just last week to secure that crucial OFC spot.
Girls, there it is!
VTS United, who at one stage had led the competition, suffered back-to-back losses against FC Bougainville.
Oh, strike coming in!
And Gulf Komara, respectively.
Kaven on side. Jordan Kaven, Gulf Komara searching for this one. Ilagi Geno!
At present, it is Tusbab Stallions are equal with Gulf Komara on points for fourth spot, but goal difference separates them. The Stallions face Hekari in Ley, having suffered a 2-1 loss in round 5 and may face a struggle heading into this match with poor form. A loss by the Stallions and a win or draw by Gulf will ensure the top 4 placings, regardless of the results of other matches. The other Ley match is between Kutubu FC and Morobe United. Both sides will finish off the season towards the bottom of the table. In Port Moresby, FC Bougainville meet FC Morobe Wawens at 11 a.m. Gulf Komara take on Star Mountains at 1 p.m. and VTS go up against Ley City at 3 p.m. And in good news for football fans, the venues in St. Ignatius Kilage Stadium and the PNG Football Stadium will now allow spectators to attend. All Port Moresby matches will be simulcast on MTV and MTV Online via the Facebook page starting at 10:50 a.m. After the introduction of the new normal in Papua New Guinea and particularly in the nation's capital, many are still trying to get used to these protocols. UN Women, in partnership with 3 organizations, including PNG OC's Team PNG athletes, conducted a training of trainers workshop in light of the COVID-19 new normal. Rafaela Baki from Team PNG with Lewa Hani from PNG Basketball were part of a training of trainers workshop conducted by UN Women Papua New Guinea. The main objective of the workshop is to equip athletes and youth advocates with information on coronavirus or COVID-19. Also to disseminate accurate information to communities on COVID-19 for prevention action and increase awareness on COVID-19 transmission and prevention amongst communities and all public places.
We were looking forward to do more awareness now with the UN Women and also to get involved with these other youths from Sanap One Time and Active City.
The program coordinator, Brownwin Kili, during the presentation stated that the use of trusted community members in disseminating information during awareness campaigns is an effective way, as often local leaders or recognized persons have more influence and can convince people to change their behaviors due to this respect. Another workshop will also be conducted on the issue of gender-based violence.
We are also looking for the gender-based violence one. If the next one that comes up, the workshop, it will be good. And I encourage a lot of males to come in and be part of the workshop, and a lot of female, because it will really help to boost and change the mindset of individuals before getting out there to really advocate more on GBV.
The training of trainers workshop saw over 20 youths from the nation's capital in attendance. Upon completion of these trainings, they will be conducting awareness campaigns in and around Papua New Guinea. You're watching National MTV News. Helen will be back with the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. Have a great weekend in sports.
True Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
A look at the weather forecast for tonight. In the southern region, cloudy with a chance of a few showers in Popondetta and Port Moresby. In the Momasu region, mostly cloudy in Medang and mostly fine weather in Wewak. In the New Guinea Islands region, mostly fine in Kavieng and fine with a chance of a few showers in Kimbe. And in the Highlands region, cloudy with occasional showers in Mount Hagen and cloudy with occasional rain showers in Goroka, Kondiawa, Mendi and Wabag.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that's been the news, sport and weather for this Friday. From all of us here at EMTV, pleasant viewing and bye for now.